Hello everybody and welcome back to Frank's Collecting Castle. My name as always is Daniel and today I'm going to talk about comics, but I'm going to talk about European comics and the difference between European comics and American comics. If you saw my last video and my last short video that I did where I talked about the Walter Hill written Triggerman, I kind of sidetracked into European comics. So I'm going to do a video on European comics. This is not the entire selection I have, but it's a good portion size of some of the very, very best. And you're going to see the difference between European comics and American comics in many different ways. So this is going to be quite a long video, so I hope you join me on the journey of European comics. So we're starting off with this book here called Western. So this is from European publisher Cinebook and their like sub-label Espresso. So this is a nice little trade paperback. Here we have the two creators, Grzegorz Rosinski and Jan van Hamme. So as you can see, this is a story that takes place in 1868 in Wyoming. You can read more about it if you pause there. So now when I open this and get into it, you're gonna see the difference in artwork like immediately. So first of all, the paper is like what I like to call real paper. It's not glossy, it's like, you know, paper quality, if you understand what I mean by that. But immediately you can see the difference in the artwork. It looks like it's painted, like it's oil painted almost. And it's always, pretty much always more reality based. There's no superheroes, anything like that. And you can see the colors here in this book, how it's kind of yellow, it's brown, it's gray. It's not the vibrant colors because the West, to begin with, weren't vibrant and it didn't have the popping colors, the vibrant colors. So that's why you don't need to have glossy paper. If you've had glossy paper, then the vibrant colors would pop. This is not about, you know, vibrant colors. It's about the West in the mid-1800s. And it didn't pop. It wasn't that sort of way. So it really fits perfectly. This is a beautiful full page spread right here. Absolutely beautiful. It looks like a photograph, right? It's absolutely beautiful. That is so stunning. Look at the rain here with the color, the gray and that light brown and the light yellow really works perfectly to describe the environment and the time they were living in, right? Here's another one of those. Absolutely beautiful. This is stunning artwork right here. Absolutely stunning. There's another one of those full page spreads. Beautiful. It's a beautiful little book. Western. Now let's move on to another book. And we go for something completely different. This is by Chaboute. This book is called Alone. You can see how thick it is. So this is a very minimalistic style of artwork, and in its simplicity, it's beautiful. Thick pages, I love that. You can see here just how the work of negative space, as it's called, how he uses the black and the white and the lining. Of course, it's so it's about the person that lives alone on this lighthouse. That's what it's called. There's not a lot of words in this, but it doesn't need to be. It doesn't have to be a lot of words. Not all comics needs to have 1,000 words. Some do, but this is one that don't, because the artwork itself speaks so much. You can see the expression in the people's faces. Look at the use here of black. That's outstanding. So you can see it's simple, but it's very advanced at the same time. And this is the type of artwork, type of book that wouldn't have fit to do in color. It just would have looked really bad. Gonna move on here. Look at that. That is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is absolutely stunning artwork to me. It's so simple, but so advanced at the same time, and so expressful. It tells you everything you need to know. So unfortunately, this is the only book I have by Chaboute. I definitely want to get more from him, but I love this. This is absolutely stunning. So Chaboute in his book alone. Moving on to the next one. And once again, we're going to go for something completely different. This is The Killer. This is To Complete the Killer by Jacamon and Matz. We actually have a foreword here by Brian Michael Bendis. Another very thick book, as you can see. When this came out, I immediately ordered it because I've been wanting this. This is from actually American company Archaea that released this. Archaea that's been picked up by, they were bought up by Fantagraphics, I think. So it's about this unnamed killer who is a hitman. And they actually made a movie of this that is available with Michael Fassbender. That is on, you can find it on Netflix. It's called The Killer. But it's very political intrigue. It's a lot of talking and a lot of words, but it's, the artwork is really, really fantastic in it. I haven't read the complete book yet, but I've read like 2/3 of it, and it's really, really good. And as I said, it's very political, very much political intrigue and storytelling, and very much, you know, reality based. There's no superheroes or superpowers or magic or anything like that. It's just reality. Just look at the detail here on when it looks at the city of Paris. Stunning. So yeah, I highly recommend this, The Killer. Moving on to the next. A staple of European comics is, of course, Judge Dredd from 2000 AD. So this is the Complete Case Files, Volume 7. Just picked up one at random. I do have Volume 5 as well. I don't have... It's only 2 volumes I have, but there's like over 30 volumes of the Complete Case Files. So here we go. Here we have the 2000 AD, classic 2000 AD logo. Here's what it contains. This is not a very thick book. So this is black and white. But it fits black and white. Obviously there's color versions of Judge Dredd. And I'm going to show that to you in my next couple of books here. But this is like more old school Judge Dredd. I'm gonna move in a bit close. Very nice. At some point, it can be a bit too cartoony for me, but it's still fantastic artwork. To me, it is anyway. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this type of artwork and the European comics that I'm going to talk about here. What do you think about it? How do you like this black and white style? Is, I would say, more detailed than pretty much any American style, any American comic. They don't have this type of detail at all. So let's move on to some other Judge Dredd books. Here we go for something in color. This is Judge Dredd, Dark Justice. John Wagner and Greg Staples. Once again, you have 2000 AD, of course. Beautiful book. Quality is stunning. Look at that. Look at that on the end pages here alone. Those pages alone are amazing. That's just, we haven't gotten into the artwork yet. I don't mean the actual story, the actual book. You get this type of artwork. See that? Look at that. That is so cool, so good. Such brilliant artwork. Closer here, you see the classic Judge Dredd. Here's the colors actually work here, perfect. Man, this is beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful artwork. You can't go wrong with this, right? Beautiful, beautiful. That is Judge Dredd, Dark Justice. Moving on to the final Judge Dredd book I'm going to show today. That is the Dark Judges, book 1. I have all 3 volumes. I think there's a 4th volume coming. I'm not sure, but I have the 3 volumes that are out. It's called The Fall of Dead World. Keek Wee, or Keek W, and Dave Kendall. 2000 AD logo again, of course. Just look at this. awesome. 2018 logo. Here you can read the blurb if you want to. We open up this stunning book. So this is volume 1, as I said. I do have the other 2. I'm not sure if there's going to be a volume 4. I haven't checked. This is dark. This is brooding. It's a brutal environment. It's a brutal world. That's why it's all these dark colors. It's not supposed to pop. That's not the point at all. When it comes to Judge Dredd, it's never been. I'm gonna go in here, look at a bit of that. That is fantastically looking art, right? Beautiful book, absolutely beautiful book. That's The Dark Judges, Fall of Dead World, Book 1. There's 3 volumes. I have all 3. I highly recommend them. You can see the highest quality. So let's move on to something completely different. So this is Alix Senator. This is volume 2. I think there's 3 volumes of this. I have volume 2. I picked it up really cheap. I definitely want to get the other volumes because this is another beautiful book. So this is about the Roman Empire and the Roman era. So this is the Swedish translation by the Swedish publisher Chaboute. Look how big this book is to begin with, you know. Look at that. Look at all these faces, and this is just the end pages. Once again, we haven't even gotten to the actual story, to the actual book itself. Just look at the marble here. It's pretty damn cool. So the original story was created by Jacamon. So this is about the Roman Empire. So it has nothing to do with superheroes. It's definitely reality-based, history-based. So when you do a book like this, that is history-based, you actually have to do research into the history of the Roman Empire, which is a incredibly fascinating time period by itself. And I watch a lot of documentaries and I listen to a lot of podcasts about the Roman Empire because I find it endlessly fascinating. The Romans and the Egyptians, you know, Julius Caesar, Mark Antony, and Caligula, and Cleopatra, and that entire part of human history is incredibly fascinating. And here you get a very good look at the political intrigue of that. So you can see how different European comics, just with this book, you can see how definitely different it is. You know, compared to any American comic book. Because it is history-based, it is reality-based, and the artwork, they take time because they have the time. You know, you look at an American comic book creator that either draws or writes or do both, he has usually the obligation to put out 5, 6, up to 10 books a month from the big companies, whether it's Image or Marvel or DC or any of the other companies. With these types of books, you can take 6 months, a year to do a book. Maybe they only come out with 1 book a year or 2 books, maybe even 3 books, but they take the time to really do this type of artwork and do the script, the writing, you know? And to me, it's always better to push things forward. Let it take time. You don't have to push out 10 of these books or 12 books a year. You don't have to do 1 a month. You can do 1 a year. You can do 2 a year. And it's just as good because it kind of ensures quality. Right, we have them talking in the Senate. It's incredible stuff, absolutely incredible stuff. If you want some like real history-based book, get your hands on this. Moving on to something completely different again. Now, this is something that I grew up with as a kid, as a child. When the school went to the library, this was what I read. Spirou, and I read Lucky Luke, and I read Asterix, and I read the Blue Coats, and I read this. So this is once again a Swedish translation. So these cover stories from 1976 through 1979. Beautiful. Get some stories behind Spirou and how it was created. And here we go. Very popular comic in Europe is Spirou. You can see how detailed it all is. That's the thing, it's so detailed, and it doesn't have to have the usual layout of three panels. It can differ. And you can see there's a lot of talking, but it makes a child actually learn to read. So it has an educational value. And it doesn't need to have superheroes. You can have a mystery. But it doesn't need to have a lot of violence or deaths and stuff like that, you know? Just take a look at the details in this. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So that is Spirou. Moving on to something else that I read when I was a young kid. That is Modesty Blaise, the female spy. So this is volume 7. This is another one I picked up for cheap, actually. It's a little bit used, worn, as you can see in the corners here. It doesn't matter too much. So I think this is another one that was translated. I'm sorry, can't get it to focus, but this edition came out in 1991. The Swedish edition came out in 1991. I don't know when the original of this came out. Maybe it says here, yep, about 1967. And look at this detailed black and white artwork. So this was something you could buy on the spin racks when I was a kid. Agent X9, Modesty Blaise. Incredibly detailed artwork. But here we have the framing, you know, like 3, 3, 3, 3. The panels are more traditional. Look at how much you have on one page. You have all these panels and you have so much information to read, but you also have very, very nice artwork with very good line work. Here we go more into the black and the shadowing artwork. Obviously the use of black and white. I don't honestly know how many volumes there are of Modesty Blaise, but there's incredibly many. But the artwork is stunning. Man, let's take a look at just this page alone here. Let's take a look at it. You can see just expression on her face. It's pretty damn impressive. Yeah. Very cool book. And we're moving on to another completely different book. This is the Trigan Empire, Volume 1. So I do have 3 volumes of this. I think there's 5 or 6 volumes out. I picked volumes 1, 2, and 3. The first 3 up on a sale, and they had 75% off on the sale. So let's see, this costs £19 at the time. So it's in 2000 AD, and their subsidiary label Rebellion. It cost £19. I paid, I think, £2, which is about $2 as well. Let's simplify that as well. So this was, I think it's in the 70s. I think it's from the 70s. I'm not sure. I do think it's from the 70s. Here we go. 1966 through 1967, 65. Yeah. So this volume came out in 2019, the new printing. Yeah, consider this came out late 60s. The artwork is fantastic. Absolutely stunning artwork. This is how it should be, right? Man, you're never going to see this in American comics. You're really not. That is really one of the reasons what I don't collect comics as much anymore, because I just got tired of the American comics. There are good American comics, don't get me wrong, but I got tired of American comics and the mass-produced American comics that they have to push out, especially Marvel and DC. They just push out new stuff all the time. Do we really need to have, 10 Batman books? No, you really don't. You need 2. You need Batman and you need Detective Comics. That's probably it. And they don't need to come out 2 times a month. You can do them once every 3 months instead, and put some effort into the artwork and storytelling. And you can get stuff like this. Give the authors and the artists time to do the art, to do the book, instead of just pushing it out so quickly. And that's one of the things that is so wrong with American comics, because it becomes generic. It becomes like rushed. They don't have time to they don't have the time to do the artwork, and they don't have the time to write a good script. you can get, you know, stunning artwork like this. It looks like it's a painting, like it's oil painted almost, with brushes. It's pretty damn. This is so spectacular. I'm so happy to have these books. I really am. So that's a Trigan Empire. And moving on once again to something completely different. So this is Blacksad. One of the best comic books you'll ever see. This is an anthropomorphic story. This is the first volume. There's many other volumes of Blacksad. I highly recommend all of them. So this is actually put out by Dark Horse. So this is an American version. So this is Anthropomorphic Tale. Now we're going to take a look at this beautiful artwork. Right? It's so it's like a noir detective crime story. It's pretty damn amazing. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Look at this alone here. When he stands in his graveyard, look at all the details. I'm gonna move on here. You can see the details here as well. It's pretty damn amazing. Look at this. This is so cool. Look at all the details. That is quite stunning. Blacksad. Okay. This is Robny the Vagabond by Joan Bois. I'm sorry for the pronunciation if it's wrong. But this is seriously one of the most beautiful books that I own. The detail and the line work and the work of black and white in this book is jaw-dropping. So this is a Swedish translation. You just take a look at this picture alone. Look at that. Then we move over here. Look at this. I mean, it's just like speaks for itself. Look at the amazing details, the line work, the coloring of the black and white, and just look at this. This is stunning. See if we can get to the, there's a certain, stunning. And then next to that, we have this. It's beautiful. Beautiful art. Absolutely beautiful. Masterful. Just the expression on the face here. That is... stunning. Absolutely stunning. And then we move into something completely different. Lucky Luke. Now this is a modern take on Lucky Luke, a modern version of Lucky Luke. Like an homage to the original Lucky Luke. But you're gonna see the artwork here is quite stunning. So this is once again a Swedish translation. The artwork is really, really beautiful, right? The work of the colors, you know, even though they're damped, they really pop. Just look at that yellow sun. That really pops. You have to have this red, brown, yellowish coloring. So cool. It's a beautiful book. Wanted, Lucky Luke. Okay, we're moving on to another anthropomorphic book. This is The Animal Castle. This is volume 1 of 3. Once again, this is a Swedish translation from Egmont. As I said, this is volume 1. I do have all 3 of these. And this is like the first page. This is beautiful, right? This is such beautiful artwork. Thick pages. Beautiful, like soft art, sort of say. But it's doesn't get much better than The Animal Castle. 3 volumes. Pick those up. And then we have this. This is the Voyages of Lone Sloan. By Philip Drouillet. So this is a Titan Comics put this out actually, which is very cool that they did. Now, the first time I picked up this book and I looked at it, just looked at it, this is the type of book where you don't need to read the story, just look at the artwork and be amazed. It's all this, look at this alone here. This is like trippy. But it's amazing. It's like a little Ditko-esque, perhaps. In certain ways, you look at, you know, Ditko from his early works on Doctor Strange. Some influences of that, but this is like every page, every inch of the book is eye-popping. There's a bit like Jodorowsky in this as well. It's, man, look at this alone here. Ooh. That's quite something. This is stunning art. I do have one more of the Lone Sloan books. I'm gonna take a look at that. Yep, look at this. Amazing. Look at the colors, they really pop. They are, man, this is, you just flip through this and it's a journey. I've had these books for quite a while. I've never read them, but I flip through them all the time because they're beautiful to just look at. Look at this. How can you not like this? This is beautiful. And I hope if you watch this that you get you get a little bit of inspiration and you get to see the actual difference between European art and American art. And maybe you feel like picking up one of these books or get inspired to just check them out. Not saying that you have to, of course, but that's why I do these types of videos, to get you inspired to check out different types of artwork, different types of comics, or different types of movies, obviously. Amazing, just absolutely stunning. Man, look at these full page spread. You got to take a breath. You know, this is high quality stuff. But that is Lone Sloan. I'm going to come back with the final book that I'm going to show off today. The final book is Jacques Tardi's World War I compendium, I guess. 2 works about World War I. They came in this beautiful box. This is won an Eisner for Best International Work. So the first one was, it was a war of the trenches. About the First World War. World War I and the horrible life in the trenches. As really, he doesn't shy from showing the brutality and, you know, how life was for the soldiers in the trenches during World War I. It's like, it's no superheroes. It's not a happy book, sort of say, because World War I and war is not something funny. But if you want a good companion movie with this, I would say 1917 is a good movie, and also All Quiet on the Western Front. It's another very, very good movie that can be a companion to reading this. Very good companion pieces. But you don't see war comics in American comics these days. You used to have that, but that's completely gone. That is a genre along with Western that has completely disappeared. So a few years after he did this, well, almost 10 years afterwards, he came out with Goddamn This War. Which tells a story, it has colors, but it also has a chronology of World War I in it. But once again, it doesn't shy away from showing the horrificness, the horribleness of war. It goes through basically, here you go. It really tells us how it all started. And here we have the 1914 Biden numbers. Dead and missing. And it gives you a lot of very good information about everything. And once again, he has these Biden numbers, but people, soldiers killed, and all that. So, here we have in total, from 1914 to 1919, 74 million individuals mobilized, 10 million were dead, 19 million were injured, 10 million maimed veterans, 9 million orphans, 5 million widows. So that's kind of puts you in a certain mood, right? That was War in the Trenches and Goddamn This War by the great Jacques Tardi. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you joined me for the entire journey here, and I hope you've gotten some inspiration. Maybe you want to read more European comics. Maybe you want to pick up a European comic. Just let you see that there's difference between American comics and that are other things than American comics. And there's definitely are a lot of great American comics, but there's something else as well, the European comic book market. And I hope you really enjoy this. Let me know down in the comments what you think. And yeah, I'll talk to you on the next video. I'll see you soon, everybody. Bye.